season. And then usually about start of February starts up, I start getting back in the gym and working out and doing cardio and gearing up for a whole nother year. So right now it's pretty chill.
I like it, man. We'll appreciate you coming on Idaho Sports Talk. We'll make sure this is a pretty chill interview, Batesy. Let's have some fun with this.
Sounds good.
Assess the season you had. I know you want to catch more passes. You wanted to catch more passes on the blue. Your fans want you to catch more passes. That didn't happen this year, but that doesn't mean you necessarily had a down season or anything. What type of season, in your opinion, Bates, did you have?
Yeah, honestly, I felt like I had a really good season this year. I felt like made a lot of strides, and obviously it didn't necessarily show production-wise in terms of like the pass game. I did increase from the year before in certain areas, which was good to see. But in terms of like run blocking and pass blocking, I felt like, and even honestly in the pass game as well, I felt like I made big strides from the previous 2 years. And, at this point in my career, all I can ask is, just to keep working in those areas and just to keep showing, improvement every single season. And so, I felt like obviously our team, we didn't have the greatest season this year, which was unfortunate, but I felt like it was a good year 3 and a good foundation going into year 4 next year.
He's John Bates. He's a former Boise State tight end. Now he's with the Washington Commanders. We're going to talk about his very bright future in the National Football League and in this conversation. In terms of, you talked about the blocking and the other things you're doing, what do the Redskins ask you to do? Do they ask you to do all those things and then worry about the pass catching afterwards? How much of an emphasis are they making to you and when they talk to you about catching the ball? Or is it really the other stuff, the dirty stuff that you like to do and get out there and you're so successful doing?
I love to do it all, whether it be, catching balls, run blocking, pass blocking. I love to do it all. Coaches, they did a pretty good job of, certain game plans. They had me a little bit more involved in the pass game and stuff like that. But, really it's kind of just like a week-to-week basis. We had Logan Thomas, who is he's a 10-year guy and, does a great job in the pass game and had another season with, over 50 catches. And so, they rely on him last year to do a lot of that, pass catching role. But, I'm excited going into year 4 and, what I can offer and just, hope to keep grinding and keep getting better in that area. And hopefully this year, I get my opportunity to, go out there and even be more involved in the pass game.
I know late in the season you had the game against the Jets. I think you had a season high 5 targets. You had 3 catches and finished off with a really nice little production there. What was your favorite game? What was your favorite catch? What was your favorite memory of this season that worked well for John Bates?
I'm trying to think. It's a long season. Probably favorite moment for me would have been early in the year. I had a really sweet catch down the sideline in Denver.
Yes.
Towards the end of the first half to get us in the field goal range, which ended up being huge for us because we ended up winning that game by, field goal or something like that. And then also too, I think the 49ers game was a really fun game for me. I don't know if I even I might have had 1 catch in that game, but I got to go up against Nick Bosa, who's obviously one of the best, if not the best defensive end in the NFL, and had a really, really good game against him. And so those are probably a couple of my highlights of this season.
Playing the tight end, the position of tight end. I mean, Bates, how challenging is it? Do you have to know like all of are you essentially an offensive lineman and a wide receiver?
Oh, 100%. Like we always joke about this in our room, but
yeah,
besides, the quarterback position, like the tight end room and like guys on the field playing tight end, like are the second behind the quarterbacks, like have to know the most. Cause we got to know defensive coverage. We have to know blitzes. We have to know, defensive line fronts. We got to know protection. We got to know run game. We have to know where the O-line's going to. We got to know, route, not only for, the Y and tight end position, but we could also get moved into the backfield. We could get stretched out wide. And so we have to know pretty much everything. So it's definitely one of the toughest positions in football.
John Bates, how is not so much your body, but maybe your strength has changed? If you're asked to do so many different things, and I can't imagine going up against Bosa and coming away and feeling good about yourself. So not only are you got the skill and the technique, but you got to have the body and the body armor to get that done. So how much stronger are you since you left Boise State? How has the NFL changed your body?
Yeah.
Man, it's kind of one of those weird things, and I've told a couple people when this has gotten brought up, but I mean, I felt like I was really strong and stuff at Boise State, but for whatever reason, like as soon as I stepped in to the NFL, and like I have to this day, I'm still like curious what happened, because it's not like I changed a ton in my workout routine and like what I was doing in the weight room. But for whatever reason, like I don't know if it was just like adult strength coming in or what it was, but I got so much stronger, just like core, legs, upper body, as soon as I got into the NFL. And I don't know if it was like kind of one of those things where you have to grow up real fast and get strong real fast, you know, to be able to hold up. But that, and then now I'm a dad, so the dad strength probably helps me out a lot now too, which come to find out at the end of the season is a real thing, dad strength. So that's helping me now too.
We're going to talk to you about that in a second. Yeah, John Bates with us, Washington Commanders tight end, former Bronco. Bates, you got 1 year left on your deal. I'm sure you'd probably love to talk extension. You want that second contract, I would imagine. Where are you in that? Are you ready or willing? Are you probably going into this year, Bates, on a contract year?
Yeah, last year my rookie contract, so it's a big year coming up for me. Obviously we got a lot of changes going on in our building with, owner last year, new general manager now, gonna have a head coach here pretty soon and a whole new staff. So, yeah, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, like whether the coaches that drafted me aren't there or not, like my wife and I, we love this place and we have a home here and we have so many good friends and people that we know here now. And so like more than anything, I would love to, get to that point, maybe before the beginning of next season. Whether or not that happens, I'm not sure, but I mean, yeah, for sure, the extension or like a signing would be, huge for me. And so that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm going to work, obviously really hard to show whoever comes in here next that I'm worthy of that.
John Bates, Washington Commanders tight end, formerly of Boise State. I'm going to ask a question that probably doesn't have an answer. It's a dumb question, but it's not the first time I've asked a dumb question. But you just kind of talked about the contract status going into a contract year. Logan Thomas is doing the same. In your mind, there's all this mad respect for one of the greatest tight ends that the NFL's had in the last few years. So I would imagine you guys have become close and he's taught you an awful lot. But do you visualize in your head taking over for him? And, I don't know if the Commanders, there's a buck in the swear jar. The Commanders are going to get rid of or move on from him afterwards. And you feel like you have been told you can slide into that spot and be the tight end of the future?
In terms of that, I'm not really sure what that holds. Like I said, we got a lot of movement and change happening right now in our building. And so, the only thing I'm really focused on is, improving myself, because when I start worrying about others and what others are doing is when I get away from, what I'm trying to accomplish and what I'm trying to get better at. And so, I feel like I've proven myself and what kind of tight end that I am and how I'm able to do it all at a really high level. And so, I'm just going to keep working hard and, keep improving and let that show for what it's worth.
Dumb question, smart answer. Nicely done, my friend. I appreciate that. What do you want from the coaching change? I mean, if John Bates has a private moment or you're talking to your baby, you're talking to your dog, you're talking to your wife, and, John Bates would like this for a head coach. And because this not only works for John Bates, but this also works for this organization that's given you this chance. So what's the best natural fit for the next head coach? Where should they go, in your opinion?
Man.
And I'm not talking about a name. I'm not talking about a name. Maybe just style or a vibe that you guys feel like you need in the locker room.
Yeah.
For sure. No, I know my time at Boise State was so cherished, and I always so many things that happened in the NFL. I go back to my experiences at Boise State because we were so successful and what it took to sustain the success. And it's obviously it's different in the NFL, just like with the way things work and whatnot. But like I really want someone to like come in here and like the culture like was trying to change, and I think that in some ways the culture did change. But like I really want a coach that guys are really gonna want to lay it all out for and play for. A guy that's really gonna like talk about culture, but also show it too and what it means, to be a man of his word. Not saying that Coach Rivera wasn't, but like a guy that really just you really want to play for. A guy that's going to lay it all out on the line for you. A guy that really cherishes his players and the relationship with his players. And a guy, I mean, I would love to have an aggressive coach that a big coach right now that stands out to me is Dan Campbell and the Lions. Like what that guy is doing for that team and that organization, like it's so cool to watch because you can tell his players love to play for him. He puts it all out on the line. And he loves his players too, and what he's just done with that organization. It's really, really cool to see.
I want to see you playing in those type of games, John Bates. Let's get you there. John Bates, our guest here.
And I would love that.
John, you won 2 championships as a Bronco, conference championships. They hadn't won one since 2019, but they got the job done this past year. I know you followed and you were really excited. Bates, you were on this team when Spencer Danielson came in as a GA, and you saw him get all the way to a position coach and co-defensive coordinator. So you know the man well. How excited are you that he got this job and Boise State's now in the Spencer Danielson era?
Yeah, I know. I think it was a great hire by Boise State. Coach D came in when I think it was literally just going into my first off season at Boise State. My first spring, he came in as a GA, and obviously I can't remember what happened, but he got elevated really quickly from GA up to, I think it was studs coach or something like that.
Yep.
But no, I think it's awesome. And like Coach D from when I was there, like he's just like a coach that every player has loved. Like he brings the best out of all his players and expects that, but like also just loves his players and shows it too. And like he's definitely a coach that guys on my team especially like wanted to play for, and just like what he brings to the table. And obviously I think that showed throughout the whole hiring process. Like the players love this guy, like what he stands for, what he brings for Boise State and the culture and the football program. And so I'm super excited for Coach D. Like obviously what he did at the end of the season to, bring them back from what you could say in our terms was like a season that was on the verge of spiraling to, a Mountain West championship is a really freaking cool deal. And so I'm super stoked for that hire.
All right, John Bates, I want to dive into your life away from football. We're going to save the fun stuff here for a second, but I wanted to ask you in terms of, we had Charles Leno on last week, and we know what he means to that community and what that community means to him. And you're a young football player trying to gain traction in your community as well. And I know you live in Virginia, love Virginia, and really have adopted the area. How do you feel about the way you've jumped into this community? I guess the more specific question is, what kind of sports fan have you become? Because I think I've seen a couple of things on Twitter that make me very happy. I'm a big-time hockey guy, and you and your wife are dabbling with the Washington Capitals. I think you're becoming a hockey fan, John Bates.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So obviously, like our life this season has been a little bit more crazy just because we had a baby and we've been super busy with the newborn. But we've loved going to the Caps games so much. Like the hockey games, especially, I mean, when you have Alex, Ovechkin playing, like that's a really big deal. Like one of the all-time greats in hockey. And so anytime we are able to watch him play, it's super special. And then now, obviously, this season, I'm not sure whether he'll get there. He'll be close, I think, but chasing Gretzky's goal record this season. And so, no, we've loved getting to watch the Caps and become Caps fans, and it's just such a blast.
I love it. John Bates going over. He's tracking Ovi, chasing down the great one, John Bates. Hey, I think your wife, Keegan, is she a Bronco as well, Bates? I saw you last year at the spring game on the sidelines. Keegan was with you. I know you got the newborn now. Any plans for you guys to get back to our neck of the woods anytime?
Yeah. No, Keegan, she did go to Boise State for a few semesters. She started off at University of Oregon, and then she ended up transferring over.
Cool.
My last few years. So she's a Bronco. Got her converted over. But I think I'm planning on coming out that way sometime this spring, when it warms up a little bit out there. See family, see friends, all that stuff. Probably stop in and visit the facility and whatnot. But just kind of right now, where we have new coaches and coaching staff coming in, I'm kind of waiting just to see what OTA schedule looks like, because I think with new coaches, they can start us a few weeks earlier now. And so kind of waiting just to see a couple of those things hash out, and then make my plans to hopefully make it out that way, maybe sometime around spring game.
Nice, because I saw Batesy that, if you come back now this time, all you're going to see is Dale Holste running around in frigid temperatures wearing shorts. I saw that autographed jersey you sent your old Boise State equipment manager.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really cool deal there. We got to get one of those for our studio here, Bates. I might be bugging you on that, okay?
Shoot, might have to.
Nobody ever says no to Johnny Ballgame. All right, we saved the best for the last. Obviously, you may not have caught any touchdown passes this NFL season, but you got the Hail Mary of all time. You got a brand new, beautiful baby daughter. Tell us about the deets, buddy.
Yeah, her name is Georgia is her name. She was a big girl. She was 9 pounds, 3 ounces, and 23 inches long. Yeah. So we got a big girl in her hands. She's like 90th percentile for weight, and she is off the charts for height. So based on that, I'm guessing that Keegan and I are going to have a big baby girl.
You've got a big baby girl. You've got a brand new marriage. You got life in the NFL. You got 2 beautiful dogs. Oh my! Well, what does John Bates? What are you missing? What's next, dude?
Shoot, I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to find out.
He's missing some playoff games. He wants to do what Khalil Shakir, his ex-teammate, did. How sweet was that last night, Bates? Seeing Shaq score.
Dude, it has been so cool watching him. Just like from the moment he came on campus his freshman year, I think in 2018. And watching him just like become the person he is. Last year, I remember during the draft, I was like talking to my coaches. I was like, you have a chance to get this guy. Like, you need to get this guy because he is so dynamic. And obviously, like his rookie year, he's got, have a phenomenal wide receiver room. And so he was working his way, up the lineup. And then this year, he's just shown his, who he really is as a player. But I mean, what Shaq's been doing has been, awesome. And it sucks they had to go down last night, but he had a hell of a, second year, and, the sky's the limit for him going into next year. So it's been really cool to watch him play.
You're the man, John Bates. We'll let you get back to your baby girl and your life and your wife, and always appreciate you stopping by Idaho Sports Talk here to talk to Prater in the ball game. Well done.
Of course, man. Thank you guys for having me on. It's always good chatting.
Great stuff, and that's why you listen to Idaho Sports Talk.
Ballgame, does it bug you that he became a hockey fan?
A little bit. A little bit. I'd be going, but basketball is dirty in that town right now. So I guess if you'd rather see a Caps game or a Wizards game, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Probably true.
He was getting into the stats and stuff too. Oh, Ovi, the count on he's a full-on Capitals fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna send him a text as well. I'm gonna bet him because there's no way Ovechkin's getting that record. So if he's rooting for Ovi, I'm sticking with Gretzky. There's no way that record's going to be broken. So, but I'm glad to see he's a hockey guy now. That's very cool.
That is cool. What are your thoughts on that John Bates interview? 208-424-9300 on Prater in the ball game.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.
Report brought